Hello everyone. Today we are going to see how to search for literature using PubMed and how to organize our literature using a software called Zotero. So before going into the hands-on demonstration, let me go through a few slides to get the principles in order, and then we will move on to the hands-on demonstration. So the learning objectives for this lecture will be to understand and use PubMed for your own literature search, to build a search strategy for a specific research topic, and understand the basic usage of Zotero, which is a reference management software. So what is the definition of a literature search? It is systematically looking for literature in the topic of your interest. Uh, these are usually the answers that we are looking for, like what is the problem, why is the problem occurring, when is the disease occurring, who are more likely to be affected, where is the disease more likely to occur, and how does the disease occur. These are some of the questions that you would like to answer through your literature search. So introducing, when we are writing a literature search, we proceed from introducing the topic to uh, more from a more known to unknown perspective, and from a general to a specific perspective. So what I'm trying to say is, when you write your literature review, you want the reader to understand why you have done this study. So you introduce the topic, you proceed from the known to the unknown, and then you proceed from the general to the specifics. And also you identify gaps and provide rationale for your study. So this is the point for which we do our literature search. We want to see what has been done already, what has not been done so far, and therefore we try to provide a rationale for the study that we are going to do. When conducting a literature search, it is important to know which literature to give importance to. So I have shown here the pyramid of evidence, or the hierarchy of evidence, where the studies present at the top of the pyramid are supposed to be high quality evidence, and the studies at the bottom of the pyramid are relatively supposed to be of a lower quality of evidence. So if you come across RCTs, if you come across uh, evidence synthesis like systematic reviews, policy guidelines, society guidelines, you have to give more importance to them as compared to expert opinions or background information, which may be a simple review article. So please try to look for studies which are of high quality, and you base your literature search or literature review on those studies which are well conducted and have stood the test of time. But that does not mean that you have to exclude new articles. Newer articles and the new pieces of evidence should also be cited in your literature search, so that when somebody reads it, they know that it is up to date. So what are the areas, or what are the websites that we go to search for literature? The most common is PubMed, but there are also other databases that you have to understand. Why use PubMed? Because it is free and it has more than 30 million citations, which is specifically focused on biomedical literature. That is why we first go to PubMed. But depending upon your area of interest, if it is psychiatry, nursing, or traditional medicine, you might have to look into other databases as well in addition to PubMed. So some of the other databases are Google Scholar, Embase, Scopus, Cochrane Library, Trip Medical Database, etc. etc. So as I said previously, why do we need literature search? Literature search is useful to write your literature review, and in that literature review you will be highlighting the knowledge gaps, you will be providing the study rationale, that is writing the introduction and background. You will be using previous studies to calculate your sample size, and when you have completed your study, you will be writing the discussion section, for which you will need previous studies to either support or refute your findings. So basically, you will be writing the introduction and discussion section of your manuscript or thesis based on the literature review. Sometimes some studies are based on literature review, like systematic reviews, scoping reviews, bibliometric analysis, etc. So these are the studies which are also based on literature search. How do you frame a search query? So now we have come to a place where we have to actually tell the computer to search for studies or literature on a particular topic. So how do you tell the computer that you want uh, articles published on this topic? So basically we follow the PICO formula, which was also the formula that is used to ask the research question. So P stands for population or participant, I stands for intervention or exposure, C stands for comparator or the non-exposed group, O stands for outcome, and we add two more ingredients to the formula, S and T, which is not always necessary: study design and time frame. Please remember that if it is an interventional study where you are comparing two groups, or if it is a case control study or cohort study where there are two groups, you will have PICO. But if it is just a prevalence study or cross-sectional survey, uh, there will be no INC, there will be only participant or population and the outcome of interest. So I will show you an example of a research query or search query, and then we can go to the hands-on demonstration. So this is an example of a search query that somebody can think of. So is tobacco smoking associated with increased risk of stroke as compared to no smoking? Here you can see the population is those who smoke or don't smoke, that is the general population. The exposure here is smoking, tobacco smoking. The comparison group is those who don't smoke, and the outcome is the risk of stroke. So we want to know, or we want to identify all the articles that have looked at the association between tobacco smoking and increased risk of stroke. So this could be case control studies, cohort studies, analytical cross-sectional studies. Interventional studies are not possible here. So we would like to have a wide-ranging number of articles on this particular topic. So now let us go to the hands-on demonstration, and I will take you step by step through the process. Here I have written down a research question, which is an interventional research question. Before we saw tobacco smoking and risk of stroke, which is an epidemiological research question. Just to show you another research question, I have put this intervention research question. So the question is, what is the effectiveness of green tea mouthwash in reducing dental plaques as compared to chlorhexidine? Here we can easily identify the PICO. Population is the general population. There is no specific population specified here. The intervention is green tea mouthwash, and the comparison group is chlorhexidine, and the outcome is reduction of dental plaques. So if you have a research question like this, the first thing that we have to do is known as concept mapping. So we are going to map the concepts which are given here into some search terms. So how to do that? I would like to do something as below, but this is not necessary that all of you do this, but this helps me a lot. So what I'm going to write, what is the concept? Is there an equivalent mesh term for this? Other synonyms. So what do I mean by mesh term? Mesh means it is a medical subject heading. Okay, it is nothing but a vocabulary that is maintained by PubMed to index articles under that heading. So for example, if chlorhexidine is a mesh term, all articles in PubMed which have a major focus or which discuss chlorhexidine will be indexed under that mesh heading. So if we use that particular mesh heading, it will be very useful and relevant to us because PubMed will give you all those articles which are indexed under that heading. I will show you a practical example. For the time being, please remember that each of our concept may or may not have mesh terms. So if it is there, well and good. If it is not there, it's also okay. So what are the concepts here? Here we have green tea mouthwash. Then we have chlorhexidine, and then we have dental plaque. So these are the concepts that we have in our research question, and we want to identify the search terms for this. Please remember that the search engine or the database will not understand natural English, right? If you go and simply type what is the effectiveness of green tea mouthwash, it is not going to understand. It is going to take the keywords or key terms from that, and it is simply going to search the database, and whichever article matches that word, it is going to give you the result, which may not be useful to us. So what we are going to do is going to build a search strategy. So this is how you do the building. So we want to know whether this green tea mouthwash has an equivalent mesh term or not. How to do that? So the first thing that we have to do is open up something known as mesh browser. So I'm going to go to Google and type mesh browser. It is going to bring up a website where all the mesh terms are kept in one place, and we can search this dictionary to see whether there is any matching mesh term for our concept. So the first concept that we are interested in is green tea. So let us see if there is any term which is related to green tea. We can see here there is a term for tea. So you can see mesh descriptor data 2022. You can read the scope note. So what is the scope note? The scope note is nothing but a description of this mesh term. The infusion of leaves of Camellia sinensis as a beverage, the familiar Asian tea. Okay, so we don't exactly want this, but we want this associated with mouthwash, right? So for the time being, let us put it under mesh term tea. So tea is a mesh term which is equivalent to our green tea mouthwash. Let us see if there is a mesh term for mouthwash. So there is a mesh term for mouthwash, and you can see the scope note here. Solutions for rinsing the mouth, processing, cleansing, germicidal or palliative properties. Okay. So we also have a mesh term for mouthwash. So we go and put mouthwashes. So if we combine tea and mouthwashes, we will get all those articles which are talking about mouthwashes containing tea. Okay. So I have used this AND, which is called a Boolean operator. We will come to the Boolean operator in a little bit, but if you want to combine two terms, you have to use the Boolean operator and there are other Boolean operators as well, which are OR and NOT, which we will come to subsequently. So once we have identified the mesh term, we can also put other terms which are similar. So I'm going to simply put green tea mouthwash, or these are synonyms, so I'm going to combine them using OR. Camellia sinensis, which we saw is the biological name for tea. Like this, we can go to the next term, chlorhexidine. Please remember that Boolean operators are used to combine different keywords in PubMed. So I am going to put chlorhexidine. I am sure that chlorhexidine is a mesh term because it is a very common compound that is used in dentistry, right? So here we can see one of the advantages of using mesh term is you don't have to use all these other synonyms which are available in articles. So somebody, when is writing the article, they may use the word chlorhexidine acetate, somebody might be using the word novalsan. So when you use chlorhexidine as a mesh term, all these other terms are taken care of. So I am going to simply put chlorhexidine as a mesh term, and I'm also going to use, just for the sake of showing you, this tubulicid word also we will take. If you have other synonyms for chlorhexidine, you have to put it. So sometimes people write CHX instead of chlorhexidine, right? So we will use that also. You must be wondering why I have put quotes here and I have not put quotes here, right? So if there is more than one word in a search term, you have to put it under quotes so that it will be searched as a single term. Now going to dental plaques. Dental plaque. So dental plaque index, dental plaque, there are two terms. You can decide which one of these two is important to you and which one of the two will give you relevant results. I think dental plaque is going to give us more relevant results in this case. So I'm going to use the word dental plaque. I don't want to use any synonyms. It is okay if you don't want to use any synonyms. That is also fine. So now what we have completed is we have completed the concept mapping. So these are the concepts that were available in our research question. These are the equivalent mesh terms that we have identified from mesh browser, and these are some of the other synonyms that authors might use to write their articles. So now we go to PubMed. So if you type PubMed in Google, the first result will be the PubMed website. If you click, you will be taken to this website. So this is the first page of PubMed, and here you can see a large white box where you can type the search query. And since I already have an account with PubMed, my name is appearing here. If you do not have an account in PubMed, I recommend you to register for an account using your Google, Yahoo or Microsoft account, and you can start saving the results of your search. The common mistake that all of us do is we straight away start typing in this big white box. So in my case, I would simply type green tea mouthwash for dental plaque. So you think that by typing this, PubMed is in some way it will understand your natural English and it will give you results which are based on this search query. But unfortunately, it is not so. Although you might get one or two relevant results, most of the results will not be accurate or appropriate. So instead of doing that, we have to click on this advanced button at the bottom. So click on advanced and you will see multiple options. So here you can add each term one by one and start building your search strategy. That is why I said in the beginning that we have to build a search strategy. This drop box tells us where to search for that term. So you can see, do you want to search in the author field, all fields? Do you want to search in the affiliation? Do you want it to be a mesh term? You remember we identified mesh terms for the concepts, right? So if it is a mesh term, we click this. If it is not a mesh term, you want to use some other keyword, you can use title abstract. Now why do we use title abstract is, if the word is present in the title of the article or in the abstract of the article, it is more likely that that article will be very relevant to us. If the same word appears in the discussion, only in the discussion, it may not be very relevant. So if it is not a mesh word, if it is a synonym, we will be using the title abstract. If there are not enough number of articles, then we will use all fields. All fields means wherever that word appears, we want that article. Okay, so let's start building the search strategy. I'm going to go back and forth between the Word document where I created the table and with this website. So what was the first term? The first term was tea and mouthwash. So both of these are uh, mesh terms. So I'm going to go to PubMed. I'm going to type tea. So as it is a mesh term, I'm going to select mesh terms. Click add, and here you can see it is automatically putting mesh terms after T. So it means that it will search for T only if it is a mesh term, mesh indexed article. Don't click search, click on the right small arrow and click to add history. So here you can see there are 11,964 articles which are indexed under the mesh term T. So we don't simply want tea, we want mouthwash. Okay. So I'm going to type mouthwash. It is mouthwashes. So the spelling has to be nearly correct. It is also a mesh term. So again, mesh term and add to history. So how many articles are there for mouthwashes? 7,356. We want a combination of tea and mouthwashes. So first we will combine tea and mouthwashes. So how to do that? It is very simple in PubMed. You simply put the hashtag, type the Boolean operator in capitals. So now what am I doing? I am doing a combination of this number 1 tea and this number 2 which is mouthwash. So I am going to look for all articles which are on green tea mouthwashes or tea mouthwashes. You can see that there are 80 articles which are talking about green tea mouthwashes. Now let us go to the next one. So the number of articles for tea and mouthwash was very less, right? So we need to increase a few more articles where the authors might have used words like camellia sinensis, green tea mouthwash, etc. The more number of synonyms you add, the more articles you are likely to get. So I am going to simply copy paste this green tea mouthwash. Remember that this is not a mesh term. So we are going to simply say, if the word green tea mouthwash is used in the title or abstract of the article, I want that article. You can also alternatively say all fields. Let us see with title abstract how many articles we get, and then we will see. So there are only 16 articles. So I think we will expand it a little bit. We can also delete a query here. Same query, but instead of title abstract, I'm going to put all fields. So same 16 articles, there is no difference. The next term is camellia sinensis. Same all fields. Let us see how many articles we get. We get around 4712 articles. So remember that all these are part of the same concept, right? It is a part of the concept which is green tea mouthwash. Tea and mouthwash, green tea mouthwash, or camellia sinensis. So all these terms that we have right now used are talking about green tea mouthwashes. So when you are trying to combine parts of the same concept, or when you are trying to combine synonyms, we will use the Boolean operator OR. Okay. So since 1 and 2 are already combined, I'm going to go directly with 3, number 3 or number 4 or number 5. Please note that I'm typing the Boolean operator in capitals. They should be typed in capitals. Now what I'm saying is green tea mouthwash as mesh terms, or green tea mouthwash as all fields, or camellia sinensis as all fields. Add to history. So we have around 4790 articles on this topic. Now let us go to the next concept. Please remember that hashtag number 6 is referring to the first concept. So just for your understanding, I'm going to add one more column to say that this is hashtag number 6. Now we will move on to the next concept, which is chlorhexidine. So we know that chlorhexidine is a mesh term. So I'm going to simply click mesh term, add to history. We can see that there are 9124 articles on chlorhexidine as a mesh term. So we can add more synonyms for chlorhexidine if you think the number of results are fewer. So I'm going to go to the Word document and see what are the other terms. So we are going to use tubulicid or CHX. So tubulicid, you can add as a title or abstract, add to history. We have only 35 articles. I'm going to put CHX as well, add to history. So there are again 4315 articles which have used the word CHX. Now I'm going to combine these three terms. What Boolean operator should I use? If you guessed OR, you are correct. I'm going to combine chlorhexidine, tubulicid and CHX hashtag number 789 using the Boolean operator OR. Hashtag 7 OR, hashtag 8 OR, hashtag 9. Add to history. So there are 11,954 articles on chlorhexidine, which is a combination of 7, 8, 9. So I'm going to put hashtag number 10 against chlorhexidine. Please remember that you can add as many synonyms as possible here. I have just for the sake of demonstration put a few, but really when you are building an actual search strategy, these synonyms should be uh, more in number so that you don't miss any articles. Okay. So next, moving on to the next concept, which is dental plaque. We saw that dental plaque is a mesh term, so I'm going to put dental plaque here. I'm going to select mesh terms, add to history. There are 17,231 articles. If you wanted, you could add more synonyms to dental plaque. Okay. So this is hashtag 11. So you can see we have constructed a search strategy for each of the concepts. Now we have to combine 6, 10 and 11. Okay. Which Boolean operator do you think I should use to combine 6, 10 and 11? If you guessed AND, you are correct. Because these terms are different from each other, we are going to use the Boolean operator AND. Essentially, by using AND, we are telling PubMed that I want only those articles which have green tea mouthwash and chlorhexidine and dental plaques. So we are combining the three in the same article. If any article has only one of these, we don't want them. So all articles containing only green tea mouthwash or has a green tea mouthwash as a part of it, you will have in number 6. All articles which have chlorhexidine as a part of it, you will have in hashtag number 10. And all articles which are on dental plaques, you will have on hashtag number 11. But we don't want these individual concepts, right? We want a combination of all three concepts. So that is why we are going to combine them using the Boolean operator AND. So how to do that? Hashtag 6 represents green tea mouthwash and hashtag 10 for chlorhexidine and finally hashtag 11 for dental plaque. So what I am telling PubMed is bring me all the articles which have green tea mouthwash, bring me all the articles which have chlorhexidine, bring me all the articles which have dental plaque put together. Okay. Now let us see. So we have only 12 articles which have looked at the effectiveness of chlorhexidine compared to green tea mouthwash or effectiveness of green tea mouthwash compared to chlorhexidine for dental plaques. Now this search strategy has been built. You can see how we did step by step. You can download this by clicking the download button and you will have an Excel file like this telling you what are the different terms we used and how many results we got for each. Then you have to visualize these results, right? So how do you do that? You do that by clicking this number 12. It will take you to the actual results of the literature strategy. Here you can see there are 12 articles and I am sure that if not all, most of these articles will be very relevant to us. If you are seeing that there are very few articles, like 12 articles are very less for us, you have to increase the scope of the search strategy by adding more synonyms, and you can remove some terms which have very few articles. Like for example, in this search strategy we can see the articles which were the search term which was very restrictive was this green tea mouthwash, but again there are only a few articles which have looked at green tea mouthwash. So if you could in some way expand the scope of this search term, you could do that. Now I am going to show you some important features in PubMed which will help you to record, save and export these results. After you have completed your literature search, you can click on the number to view the actual results. So here there are many functions in PubMed which will help you even focus your or narrow down your search. So here you can see a timeline. You can restrict by which year of publication you want. Okay. Then there are other filters as well depending upon the text availability, if there is an associated data or not, the type of articles you are interested in. If you are only interested in clinical trials, you can click on clinical trials, randomized control trial, etc. The publication date, and there are some additional filters. If you want to only look at children, if you want to only look at certain type of journals which are indexed in Medline, if you want to only look at a particular gender, a particular language, only human studies, things like that. So this is similar to any other online shopping experience where you can give a number of filters and the result will be filtered according to uh, that selection. Please remember that once a filter is applied, you have to manually remove it to get the full results. So if I select, for example, clinical trial, here you can see the 9 results which are matching with this are shown here, and until and unless I clear this filter, it will always be applied. So make sure that you don't forget to clear this filter. How to save these results? So here you can see there are 3 small buttons at the top and each one has a different function. If I want to save these results, I can click on save. All the results on this page, all the results are a selection. So how to select? There is a small box next to each article. You can click on this box and only those articles which are selected will be downloaded. So if you don't want that, if you want all results, you have to click on all results. You can either download a summary or a PubMed format or only the IDs of the article, PMID. So each article has a PMID. You can only, this number is called the PMID. If you only want the IDs, you can select that also. If you want an abstract, you can get the abstract version also. So let us click abstract and see how the file is looking. So it will download like this. So for each article, there is a citation, the title, the authors, the author information, and an abstract of the article. So you can download like this and read at your own leisure in the computer if you don't want to read straight away here. So this is how you download the abstracts like this. Please note that you will not be able to download the full text like this, and only for those articles where you see a tag like this, free article, only then you will get the full text article. If there is no tag like free article, you will not be able to get the full text of that article. PubMed does not store the full text of articles, it only stores the citations. Please remember that. So now if you want to send this as an email to anyone, let's say you have your guide or mentor who wants to see the search results, you can enter their email here and directly it will be sent to their email. Again, all results or all results on this page or summary or selection. And you can also select which type. Summary means there will be no abstract, abstract means there will be an abstract. So you can also directly email. Then you can do something like this. You can either send to a bibliography management software by clicking Citations Manager. You can send it to My Bibliography, which is your own publications, or you can send to Collections. I'm going to show you Collections. So whenever you are constructing a search strategy, whenever you are building a search strategy and running it, you want to save these results somewhere so that you can come back and see them again, right? So in order to do that, PubMed has something called collections, and it will be available only if you create an account. So if I click on my account, there is something called dashboard, right? So if I go to the dashboard, all my collections will be available. So how to send these 12 results to that collection? Click on the send to button and click on collections. It is going to ask you again the same few questions. Do you want all results on this page or all results? I'm going to say all results. Create a new collection. I don't want to add to any existing collection, and I'm going to say green tea demo and click add. Now it has added to my collection. How to go and see whether it has added? Click on my account, go to dashboard, and in that dashboard all my previous collections will be available. So if you scroll down a little bit, these are all the collections that I have been saving for past many years, and you can see at the bottom the latest collection has been added. So green tea demo, there are 12 results. Whenever you come back to your dashboard and click on this green tea demo, you will get those 12 results permanently saved in PubMed. So you don't have to worry about running the search again. If you click on this and click in a new tab, those 12 results will be available to you. You can see it is putting the title as green tea demo. So this is one way of saving your search results. Another useful tip that I want to give you is, see, when you are doing a literature search for your thesis or manuscript, uh, initially what you are doing is like the results which are updated as of today. But when you are completing your thesis, it might be 2 years, right? So you want to do a updated literature search. So how to keep track of new articles which are being published in this area? How to do that? You can usually do that by using this create alert button. You can see the create alert button is just below the white box. Once you click that button, you can give any name to this. Let's say green tea updates. The search terms that were used to arrive at these 12 results are automatically saved here, so you don't have to do anything. They are asking you whether you would like to have email updates of this new search results. You can click yes, and you can change the frequency of the updates. So do you want a weekly update, daily update, or monthly update, which date you want, how many items you want to see, etc. And you can click on save. Once you save, every week or every month, as per the choice you have made, you will get an alert saying that there are 2 new results for this search strategy. There are 5 new results for this search strategy. So you can keep track of new articles which are published under this particular topic. So over the course of next 2 years, if you're going to do this research, you will be happy to know that there are many new articles being published, and you can incorporate them into your thesis for literature review. So that is all about PubMed and how to do a systematic literature search using PubMed, and how to store the results, save the results, and how to create alerts. Now let us look at how to manage references using a software called Zotero. Zotero is an open source software, which means it is free to download, and it can help to organize your literature. It can help to uh, make bibliography for your thesis or manuscript. So let us look at why we need a automatic reference management software. Apparently, uh, many people do not use automatic reference management software because they are going to write one simple article, or they are going to do only one thesis. They don't see themselves as doing research again and again. But even then, you will need to understand how an automatic reference management software works if you ever have the need to use one. It saves a lot of time in organizing our literature. It helps us keep track of the literature that we have downloaded and saved. It can help us to insert citations in our manuscript or thesis, and we can modify the text as many times as we want and however we want. It can change the reference style quickly. So if you have written the manuscript in a particular way and you are using some sort of a referencing style like Harvard or Vancouver, and if you want to change it to another style, it can be done very easily. And it improves the accuracy of referencing. We all know that there are a lot of mistakes in the reference list, and using a management software like Zotero can help in reducing the number of errors. There are many softwares available in the market for reference management. One such software is Zotero. Other softwares like EndNote, Mendeley are also available, and each has its own advantage and disadvantage, but for this particular lecture we will be looking at Zotero. As I said, it is a free and open source software. It helps you import, organize, share, and manage your citations and documents. So one important advantage of Zotero is you can have it as a web application also, which means you can open any browser and access your literature and references. You can also use it in your own desktop or laptop without any internet connection. So both of them are available to you, and you can sync the files between the two. So if you are using a different computer or laptop to write your thesis, you can access the references from the website. It helps you create correctly formatted in-text citations and bibliographics in any style. It helps you easily find and format relevant citation information from almost any website. So when you are writing your manuscript or thesis, you might want journal articles, you might want websites, blog posts, reports, etc. etc. So Zotero can manage a lot of them. So Now we will go on to the hands-on demonstration to see how to download Zotero, how to create an account, and how to use the software. So go to Google and type Zotero. It will take you to the Zotero website. On the Zotero website, you can see a red color download button. So press on that button and it will take you another page. Here you can see Zotero 6 for Mac. If you are on a Windows computer, it will be written Windows. You can download the Zotero client by clicking on the download button. After doing this, you can install it, and you have to do one more thing. You have to download something known as the Zotero connector. So what is this Zotero connector? It is nothing but it is a button which appears in your web browser. So I am using Firefox here, that is why the Firefox logo is appearing here automatically. If you are using Google Chrome, it will be Google Chrome. If you are using Safari, it will be Safari. If you are using Edge, it will be Edge. So you have to click on this button and allow your browser to install this connector. Now I have done both of these, and after doing this you will see a button appearing here which will be the Zotero button. So you can see right now it is saying save to Zotero. Okay, in your computer it will also look something similar like this. After you have downloaded Zotero, you can go to your applications and click on Zotero. Since I already have some folders and references in my Zotero, you are able to see this, but for you it will be a blank screen. It will say welcome to Zotero, etc. And we can start using Zotero from there. I will first show you some of the options that are available in Zotero, and then we will start importing the citations. So on the left hand side you can see your library, and you can create these folders. I have created these folders for my own use, and you can also create a folder. How to create a folder? By clicking on this yellow button. If you click this yellow button, it will tell you what name you want to give your folder. I'm going to say green tea demo. Click OK, and you can see the new folder has been created and there is nothing inside this folder. You can also create subfolders. For example, new subcollection. I'm simply typing introduction. You can create folders within folders. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to create another subfolder called discussion. So like this, you can create several subfolders within a main folder, and you can organize your articles inside this. Next, there is this green plus button which allows you to add any type of reference manually. So this is manual addition. We will come to this later. Then there is this magic wand button. You can type in the ISBN number of a book, or the DOI number of an article, or the PMID number which we saw earlier. If you are able to provide that number here, Zotero will automatically download and put that article as a reference. You can add notes, you can attach any document to a particular citation, which I will show you, and then this is the area where your articles appear, and this is the area where the information about that article appears. Now we have created this green tea demo folder, and I want to put some articles inside this introduction. Let us see how to do that. Now let us see how to import citations using the Zotero connector. I told you that this button is called the Zotero connector button, which will be available to you after you press this button. Press this install the connector button. Let us say you go to this PubMed website and you have made some search strategy and you have collected some references. You want to add all of these references to the reference management software. How to do this? There are two ways of doing this. One is by clicking send to and clicking on citation manager, all results, create file. So this file is called the nbib file, and you can import it directly into your Zotero, and it will record all the citations. How to do that? Go to Zotero, click on file, import, click on continue, go to the place where you have downloaded the nbib file, click open, click continue, and it has downloaded the 12 articles. You can see the 12 articles which were there in PubMed are now available in this separate folder. So since it creates a separate folder, you can simply drag and drop it into the green tea demo and it will be available to you. So if you click on green tea demo, this 12 articles are available to us. This is one way of adding citations into Zotero. The other way is to click this Zotero connector button. This button changes in color and form according to what is available in this web page. So if it sees several articles, it will show like a folder button. If you click on this, it is telling you that there are so many articles. Which ones do you want me to add? I can click any one. I can click all or I can click any one. So I'm going to click all, click OK. So it is now saving all the 12 articles into that folder. I want to save it to a particular folder. I want to save it to green tea demo, right? So I'm going to do that again. Select all, click OK. You can select the folder here. Previously it was not selected, now it is selected. So if you go to Zotero and see under green tea demo, the articles are added. Since each article has 2 copies, it is showing double. Every article we have added twice, so it is showing a double entry. We will see how to remove the double entries. So this is one way. This is the second way of adding citations into Zotero using the Zotero connector. If there is a single article, say for example, I have clicked this article. You can also land in a particular article outside PubMed also, right? You are searching for Google Scholar and you came across this article. Somebody sent a link to you and you want to check out this link. So this is the actual journal page of that article. You can also add articles from the journal page. You can see the Zotero connector button has now changed into a manuscript-like icon. Clicking on this will also save this into the citation. Now leave articles. Let us go to some website where we want to get some information. Let us say you are going to the WHO website to get some information on rabies. Okay, there is some fact sheet, there are some numbers, you want to cite these numbers. So now you can see the Zotero button is changed into a blue color button, which means it is a website. If you click on this, it will be saved as a website. Let's say you want a book. You want to save a book. So I'm going to simply go to the Amazon page which contains the book, and the Zotero connector button will change into a book icon, and if I click that, it will save that book. You can also do one more thing. If you have the ISBN number of the book, you can directly copy paste that ISBN number as well. So these are some of the ways in which you can add articles, groups of articles, articles directly from the journal website, websites and books. So these are the different ways of adding things using the Zotero connector button. If we come to the Zotero application and see, you can see the book has been recorded, the rabies website has been recorded, and the articles have also been recorded inside the green tea demo folder. The next way to add articles would be to use this magic wand button if you know the DOI number or the PMID or the ISBN number. So let us see how that works. Here I have taken the ISBN number of this book by Leon Goddess. If you simply copy the ISBN number, go to Zotero, press the magic wand button, paste and press enter. It will also pull the appropriate citation and put it in the book format. If you want to use PubMed ID, so I told you before that PubMed ID can also be used to bring in citations. So click on the magic wand button, right click, paste, press enter, and the article will be again downloaded. You can also use DOIs. So this number is called DOI, Digital Object Identifier, which is unique for every published article. So you can also use this DOI. Press on the magic wand button, paste, and press enter. So these are the different ways in which you can add using the magic wand button. See, we have added the same article several times through several rules. Another way to add articles to Zotero is simply drag and drop the PDFs. If you have any PDF uh, which you have collected for the purpose of your literature search, let's say you have collected some articles in the PDF format and you want to uh, add those into this Zotero. So you simply drag and drop it here. It will take a few seconds and then it will convert that PDF into a citation. It will convert it into a reference. This is very useful if you have gone through the pain of collecting some PDFs. Somebody has sent you some bunch of PDFs, you have collected PDFs on your own and you want to put them into the reference management software. So you can see here the PDFs have been added and they are now ready as a reference. Sometimes you come across some reports which cannot be converted easily into a reference. For example, I have this report on smokeless tobacco control by WHO, published in 1988. Now this document cannot be added as a reference automatically. We have to do this manually. How to do that? It is also very easy. You click on the plus button, click on report, and once you do that, it will ask you to fill this table. It is very easy. So we write smokeless tobacco control, which is the title. The author is World Health Organization. It was published from Geneva. Institution is again World Health Organization. It was published in 1988. And if you have a URL for this particular document, you can type the URL here. Okay. So you can manually also add reports which are not otherwise easy to add in, which are not otherwise we cannot add otherwise them automatically. So I have shown you several ways to add references into Zotero. We can use the Zotero connector button. We can use the plus button here. We can use the magic wand button. We can drag and drop PDFs and we can create manually also. Now the one thing that you must have noticed while saving from PubMed, if there is a PDF which is free text, I mean full text is free, it will automatically download that free full text and put it inside PubMed. Here I am just clicking to see if there is anything like that. See here. So if a reference has a free PDF version of that article, it will automatically download it and put it under this reference. So if you double click this, you can open and see the article. You don't have to do it manually. So this is one very powerful thing that Zotero does. It will automatically pull the PDF of that reference if it is freely available. Like this, you can see for which other articles it has done automatically. If there are no PDFs available freely, and if you can procure these PDFs through some other way, you can also directly attach it to this reference. For example, this particular study is on the effect of polyvinyl pyrrolidone. Let us assume that I have the PDF of this article and I want to add this to this reference. Before we start doing that, we need to remove the duplicates, right? Because there are so many duplicates here. How to do that? You can simply go to duplicate items on the left hand side and it will show you what are the duplicates. You click on a particular duplicate, it will show you that these three articles are duplicate. You click on merge three items and it will remove the one duplicate. You can keep on doing this until there are no more duplicates. I'm going to quickly remove all the duplicates. Before you start doing your reference management in the manuscript, before you start inserting citations, I recommend you to remove the duplicate items. Now if you go to green tea demo, there is no more duplicate. So as I was saying, if you have a PDF which has to be added to a reference, you can do that by simply dragging and dropping, or you can also use this attach button. So here I want to attach a PDF to this particular reference, attach link to file, or attach stored copy of file. So let us click on attach stored copy of file. Let us say that this is the PDF I want to attach. So it will attach the PDF here. Similarly, you can do for all the references here, so that all the literature that you have for your thesis or manuscript is arranged in one place. You don't have to store it in separate folders. You don't have to create cloud files. You can put all your PDFs regarding your thesis in this one place. And if you click on this PDF, it is available to you for reading here. So within Zotero, you can start reading the article. You can make notes, you can highlight, whatever Adobe PDF Reader does, you can do that. You can highlight, you can insert notes. You can say important for sample size, important for discussion, important for things like that. Whatever you want to do, you can do with this. And once you are done, you can simply close it, and Zotero will automatically save the changes and the notes. You can also add notes outside the PDF. For example, if you want to add a note about this article, you can simply click this, add note. This article is useful for discussion. So things like that you can add. If you want to drag a note inside this article, you can do that. So there are so many things that Zotero allows you to do. Here also you can add notes. Here you can add tags, and here you can see add the related items. So if a particular article is related to some other article, you can add those related items as well. These are some of the advanced functions. I don't think you will need those functions, but it is very, very useful to organize your literature in this way. After you have collected all the references and literature that you need for your manuscript or thesis, the next step would be to use them as citations. How to do that? So I'm going to open a Word file where I have written some sentences. So I have written 3 sentences. Green tea mouthwashes are commonly used nowadays. Their effectiveness is currently unknown, and chlorhexidine is the standard of care for dental plaques prevention. Now we want to add some citations for these sentences. After installing Zotero, you will see a new tab opened in your Microsoft Word application, which is called this Zotero tab. Before installing Zotero, this tab is not available to you. It will appear only after you have installed Zotero properly. So here there are a couple of buttons: add or edit citation, add or edit bibliography, document preferences, refresh. Okay. So these are some of the buttons that you need to know. You have to keep the Zotero open when you are doing the in-text citations, and you can insert your first citation by clicking on the place where you want the citation and clicking on the add or edit citation button. Once you do this, the first time it will ask which style you want to use. So I am going to say I want to use Vancouver style and click OK. Then it is going to ask me which citation you want to add here. I am going to simply say the first one, click OK. So now it has inserted the number 1 with these round brackets, and this is the Vancouver citation. For the next sentence, I am clicking here and I want to add 2 citations. How to do that? You click on multiple sources, you click, put it inside, click the second one, put inside, click the third one, put inside. So like this you can add multiple citations in one sentence in one go. And for the last one, we will do the same. Click on multiple sources. I'm going to add some 1, 2, 3, and 4. Click. You can see that the numbering is automatic. So this was 1, this was 2 to 4, and here it is 5 to 8. So you don't have to worry about the keeping track of the numbers, right? Once you have done, you want to paste the bibliography, right, or references. Press enter, and this button will help you paste all the 8 references. By clicking on this button, now you can see that all the references are perfectly formatted in the Vancouver format, and you can see that they are neatly pasted below. If there is any error in the references, for example, if there is any spelling mistake, it is mainly due to the reference which is available here. So if you want to change anything, you can come here. For example, if mouth rinses is a mistake, there has to be 2 words. I'm just giving an example, and there should be a space. You can do that. Come here, click refresh, and it will be automatically done. Right. So if there are any mistakes available in this reference list, you can go back to Zotero and you can correct here, and those changes will be reflected here. So this is just an updated list of the Zotero database. Now sometimes when you are writing the thesis or manuscript, you will do some changes, right? For example, this first sentence we are putting as the last sentence, and the second sentence we will now put as the first sentence. So now the numbering is all different. Instead of 1, it is starting with 5, 2 to 4 is coming after 5 to 8, and 1 is coming in the last. So this should not be the case, and how to rectify this? You simply click the refresh button, and all the numbering will be done automatically. You don't have to think about anything. Here also the number will be changed, and here also the number will be changed according to the order of appearance. Now let's say you want to change the Vancouver style to some other style, for example Harvard style. Your mentor has asked you to change it to Harvard style. How to do that? You click on document preferences. This window which we saw previously will pop up again. I'm going to go and select Harvard style, click OK, give it a few minutes, and then the references are now in Harvard style. Before it was 1, 2, 3, 4. Now it is the author name followed by the year of publication. And here also the reference list is now in alphabetical order instead of 1, 2, 3, 4. This is how you can quickly change the style of the references. I will show you a easy tip now. If you want, if you are writing for a particular journal, let's say you are writing a manuscript for Nature, and you want to do the citations according to Nature. How to do that? You can go to document preferences, click on manage styles, and there will be a window like this which will give you all the options available to you right now, and you can also get additional styles. So here you can come and search for any journal that is of interest to you. For example, I'm going to search for Nature. So if Nature is available, you can click on Nature, and that Nature style will be added. So you can close this window, go back to your Word document, click on document preferences, and instead of Harvard, you can click Nature. And now all your citations will be formatted according to Nature. So you don't have to think twice about correcting the references for that particular journal. If the particular journal is available in Zotero, it will make your life very, very easy. As I said previously, Zotero also has a web presence, right? So you can access your Zotero profile from anywhere. So if you go to the Zotero website, there is a button called login at the top right hand corner. You click on login, and you click on login to Zotero. If you don't have an account into Zotero, you can create one. It is very easy. I already have an account, so I have used my email ID password to log into Zotero. And you can see that the Zotero web application also has a format which is similar to the Zotero application in the desktop. So here you can see the green tea demo which we created has already been populated in the web. You can see the 3 subfolders that we created. You can see the articles that we have done. So this is very, very useful when you are you have some time to throw. You are going in a bus, you are going in a train, you come across some article, you want to immediately put it into your Zotero folder. You can do it, and all the changes that you make in the web application will be reflected in the desktop application. This green button at the top is called the sync button. So if you press this button, all the changes between this application and this web application will be synced. If you delete anything here, it will be deleted there. If you delete anything there, it will be deleted here. You can have a complete backup of whatever you have in your local computer in the web as well. So this is a very useful thing which I wanted to show you. Another useful thing, and the reason for me recommending Zotero, is the forum. The forum is a community of Zotero users who help each other out. So if you are not able to do something in Zotero, you are stuck somewhere, you can come here and create a new discussion item. You can ask questions about why Zotero is not working for you, what are some problems that you are facing. You can also search for problems that have been previously faced by other Zotero users. And if you click on documentation, you can have a number of resources on how to get started. So how to install, how to add citations, how to get more storage, how to add files, etc., etc. And if I don't know if this will be useful to you, but if 2 or 3 people are working together on the same literature search, you can create groups. So you can create a new group, and 2 or 3 people can start adding literature into this web application, and it will be available to all the members of the group. So that is all about Zotero. I hope you had a good understanding of Zotero. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer. Thank you.